guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you stopped by today because today I wanted to try something a little bit new for today's channel. If this is the first video of mine that you've ever watched, it'll look a little confusing if you go through the rest of my videos because it's almost the first painting I've shown you guys. Today I'm going to show you guys how I did an oil painting. It's really not a tutorial, it's going to be more of a time-lapse discussion thing. I wanted to try something a bit new and change it up a bit. This isn't going to consume my channel at all, it's going to be more of an extra treat now and again to see if you guys like it. So let me know in the comment section what you think about today's video, if you like it, if you want to see more of it. Anyways, let's get started. Okay guys, so for this painting I am using oil paints. The type I like using are Winsor & Newton right now, but honestly I haven't tried any other types of brands, so if you have any that you would suggest, leave them down below. I'd love to try different types of them. I've heard another brand to use is Gamblin. I heard a lot of people like using that, and maybe in the future I can get some of those to try them out as well. But anyways, the only thing other than oil paint that I'm using is a linseed oil to help thin out the paint to make different layers and glosses. And then the canvas that I'm using is an 8x10 canvas that I painted a solid black color before I sketched out the drawing for my painting. I'm gonna apologize ahead of time if it's really hard to see the sketch that I drew out over my black canvas because I used a white pencil and it didn't really show up well on camera. In person it looked perfectly fine, but I just noticed that in editing this video that it was not showing up, so I really apologize, but you will eventually see what's on my canvas. I did this because I wanted to see how the paint would react to being on a black base versus a white base, mainly to see if it would bring out more of the richness of the colors or if it makes it darker and creepier or whatnot, just to see how it would react, because lately I've been seeing a lot of black canvases being sold at my art store and I just thought it would be something cool to try. Now my idea for this painting was I wanted to paint what a thought would look like a physical thought. If it took the form of something, what would it look like, and what would the process of creating a thought look like? Now I know it sounds a little funny, but the first thing that came to mind was how a cartoon character, when they have a thought, they have a light bulb pop above their head. So I was like, how can I make that look more organic and less strange? I know it sounds a little funny, but my first thought for this was how a cartoon character, when they have a thought, they have a light bulb pop above their heads or whatnot. And I was like, how can I make this look a little bit more organic and less strange and cartoonsy? Something that looks like, oh, if you saw it, it made sense, even though it probably wouldn't completely make sense. So at that point I knew I wanted to do a light bulb, but I wanted to change the source of the light to something a bit more organic. I could have gone a few other ways. I could have done maybe something like an aquarium, it had an anglerfish or something in it, but I wanted to go for something that I could have a lot of greenery in it. So my first thought for that was, how about I do a lightning bug? Because when you look at a lightning bug, you think of kind of like childhood memories, and memories started making me think, oh, that makes more sense for a thought. So that's the main reason I'm going to have the light bulb fueled by a lightning bug. Now that I have a light source in my light bulb that is alive, I need to give it an environment so that it can thrive. I can't just stick lightning bugs in a light bulb and expect them to live forever. I know this is a painting and whatnot, but I want it to make a little bit more sense so it feels like it's something that could exist. So I decided to turn the light bulb into kind of one of those things, the terrariums that are completely closed off, but they still have their own ecosystem. So that's basically what I did with my light bulb. And that's pretty much my thought process for making this painting. Now my other reasons for doing this painting was I wanted to give myself a challenge because I have not painted in a very long time and I didn't want to just throw myself something simple to do. I wanted to give myself something new and exciting and something that would make me want to keep painting after it. So I haven't painted anything with glass in it. The idea of making the illusion that there is some kind of glass there. So I thought that would be a fun thing to try, along with creating a light source. Now, if you guys want these painting videos to be more of a tutorial, please let me know. I know I do want to give you guys all the information of like, okay, this is what I used, this is how I did it kind of thing, but I really wanted to just have this a time lapse to where we can watch the video go by and I can just talk to you guys on different topics, maybe about the painting itself like I just did, or we can talk more about what I want to do with my channel and like what you guys would want to see, maybe different ideas for videos or something, or stuff I can run by you and see what you guys would like. Now with this painting I did have a couple trouble points, and you might notice me retouching up a few spots because I just couldn't get it to where I liked it. And I didn't want to hide this from you guys because you are probably doing the same thing with your art. Every artist has these things, and when you see a fast forward video of someone making a masterpiece or something, you don't see them messing up. And I wanted to point out what I had trouble with this one. My main trouble was the bottom of the light bulb. I could not figure out how I wanted the light to reflect on it. I tried a few different ways where it just looked too busy and whatnot, and in the end I ended up just covering it all up and making it a lot more simple. And sometimes that could be your problem. You could be just making something too complicated and you're overthinking it, and maybe you should just simplify it real quick, and then if you think you need to add more details to it, do it. But yeah, that was one problem I had, and then the other one that was a little bit difficult was doing the metal for the top of the light bulb. It wasn't as hard as the bottom of it because I really didn't go over it too many more times, but I did want to get it to look as perfect as I could. And again, I'm rusty, I haven't painted in a long time, I'm not a professional on any level, but those were the things that I had a lot of trouble with. So if you guys are working on an art project and you're like really tired of how it's coming out because it's just not working, you have a ton of details in it but it doesn't feel right, you just don't like it at all, try stepping back from it, looking at it at different angles, maybe just leaving the project altogether for a day or so and giving yourself a break from it, because like me, I have a problem with getting so deep into my drawings or my paintings or anything that I'm working with, and then I just wear myself out, and then I get a little obsessive and I have to fix what's wrong with it, but it's not going to get fixed right then and there. Sometimes you just need to give yourself a breath. But that doesn't mean don't challenge yourself, don't try new things because you're afraid to do it or you think you're bad at it. I'm actually really bad at things like drawing hands and human faces. They're really hard for me and I have to put extra time into it to get it to look better. But that doesn't mean avoid it, because eventually you're going to want to draw something with that element in it, and because you've avoided it now it's going to be a daunting task. So you kind of have a nice balance between this is too hard to this is not hard enough kind of thing. Just find a good balance to where you're comfortable and just slowly push yourself into an uncomfortable position to where you're making yourself improve your art. So like with me, if I wanted to start doing people in my artwork, I wouldn't just, I mean I could, but I wouldn't just dive in with a full head-to-toe person because that would be kind of difficult. Instead, I would be like, how about I incorporate a human hand? Hands are really hard, so how about we focus on a hand before we do the rest of the body? Or how about we focus on the face, because that's another really hard feature, instead of trying to do all these different hard features and make them coexist together. So that's one thing I would probably do with my difficulties in art, but if you think it's just easier to just draw a full figure and then just slowly add details, you could do that too, but I like the idea of practicing different parts as you go. Anyways guys, I really hope that my oil paintings can be kind of a permanent fixture on the channel. They're not going to be a weekly thing at all. They take way too long for me to be able to pop one out in a week. So it'd probably be something more of, okay, this week we have my art doll video, but the next day we're also going to have an oil painting video. So it wouldn't be like this is taking the spot of an art doll video, it'd be like this is added alongside of my art doll videos. So we could just have a little bit more to the channel. I don't want to take away from what we already have. So yeah, if you guys, instead of wanting me to make something as an art doll, if you want to see me do it as a painting or something, let me know, because I'd love to know what you guys would like to see. Again, it probably won't be like next week that I upload another painting, because this video alone, I think I started recording and doing this painting probably 3 months ago, and I just now have it finished enough so I can edit it. So yeah, it's going to be kind of like an extra little treat every now and again. I'd love to get it to where I could do one a month or something, but right now it's just whenever I have the time to do it. My idea is to be able to paint every weekend a little bit, that way I can get a little bit done on a painting, even if it's just an hour, that way I could eventually have a finished piece for you guys. Currently my weekends are a little full with other projects for the channel. It used to just be where Monday through Friday I worked on videos, commissions, and stuff for my Etsy shop, but right now it's kind of a few things are drifting over to the weekend and taking away that time, so I haven't been able to start up on another painting. I have one already drawn out that I want to start. It's a lot larger piece, so hopefully we can get the schedule cleared up and I can start on that for you. And then one thing you guys don't know is how my art setup is. I don't really have an art setup, and that's the problem. I live in a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, can't take up the bedroom for art supplies. I have a little corner in my kitchen that is a nice desk area with shelves and whatnot, and that's my workspace, and then it kind of drifts over into the rest of the kitchen until the end of the day, and I push it all back into the corner where it belongs. So my kitchen is my art studio. So it kind of limits me on things that I can do. I really want to fix this. This is my goal, is to fix this so I can have an actual room for my art studio. That way I can make different sections. So I could have a sewing section, a painting section, a sculpting section, so I don't have to put one project away so I can work on a different project. I can leave everything out so I can keep track of it, and it would be just a lot better. But yeah, currently workspace is very limited, so I'm trying my best to work with that. Another reason why paintings take so long is they have to sit out to dry, and that also takes up space in my work area. And then one thing that they never tell you when you become an artist or you start taking on some kind of art as a hobby is how much space that it does actually take up. I actually have technically 3 closets crammed full of art supplies and different things correlating to my art. And one of them is a full-on walk-in closet that I can't even walk in completely. So yeah, art takes up a lot of space, especially if you are trying to make it some kind of business or something. It definitely needs its own room so you can just kind of hide it from you when you're not working on it, because it does get a little overwhelming, especially like with me, with my art dolls. You have sewing, you have painting, sculpting, wire for the frames. It takes up a lot of space, and it's not just like, oh, here's my oil paint, so I just have paint, canvases, and a small workspace. That would be a lot easier to work with, but because I have all these different things, I technically need a workspace for each individual one so that I can work a lot more efficiently. But that's enough ranting. I mean, it's not even really ranting, it's just kind of giving you guys an idea of what I'm working with. But let's get back to the painting. One thing we haven't talked yet about for this painting is how I got my references. I like using Google because a lot of the times with the ideas I have, they're not something I can go out and take a picture of and use as a reference, so Google's very helpful. But you do need to be careful and considerate of other people when you're doing this, because you don't want to copy someone's image perfectly, because that's their image. Even if it's online, you don't have the right to recreate that image perfectly, and even if you're just keeping it for yourself. But then again, you could also be trying to sell it, and that's kind of stealing and making a profit off of someone else's hard work. So when you're using references, make sure you're using them to give you a rough idea of what you want, and then to fill in the gaps with how you want to represent the image. So don't copy completely, use it to give yourself ideas. But there is kind of a gray tone to this. If you're trying to teach yourself how to draw something, I definitely recommend copying something, not tracing it, just trying to teach yourself how to actually recreate an image. That way you can kind of understand the image itself a lot better. Because when you're trying to teach yourself how to do something, it's definitely helpful to try and use all the information that you have. Like when I was little, I would go to the library and get animal books that had a lot of pictures, and I would use those and completely copy the images and stuff. And that's kind of how I practiced when I was little. So there's nothing wrong with that. It definitely is a way to learn how to get that muscle memory, so when you don't have an image, you can do it on your own and you don't have to find a reference. Now, one thing I wanted to do, guys, was I wanted to give you guys an idea of what my next videos are going to be like. I do have a bunch of cute baby animal ideas. Some I've already recorded, some I haven't. Those just have not been edited, so you guys can watch yet. I wanted to do more Star Wars characters. I wanted to try something from Subnautica, the video game, because I've gotten a few requests for that. I want to make larger plush creatures. My idea for celebrating the channel's growth is I wanted to make a super large griffin. Something probably larger than my dog. Actually, probably 3 times larger than my dog. So it would probably be something that would create like a series of video, because I wouldn't be able to just make it in one video. So if you guys are interested in like making one large project spread out through a series, I would like to know if you guys would like that. More animal species that you would like to see, even if they're strange. I did that centipede plush lately. If you guys want to see more bugs, let me know, because I have 2 of them I want to do for you guys, but I haven't started yet. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that those are the ideas I have for future videos. Again, if you guys have any other ideas, I love using them because they're super creative and I really don't think of a lot of these ones. Hence, I never thought about making something from Subnautica. I thought that was really cute, and I think I'm going to actually do that. Again, it might take a little bit because I'm actually kind of stocked up on videos that I need to get off the computer so I can actually process more video. And guys, I'm really sorry if this comes off as a little bit rambly. It's my first time doing a video in this way, and I really wasn't sure what to talk about during it. So if you guys want certain topics during these types of videos, let me know in the comments section, because I love to know what you guys want to hear about me. If you want to hear stories about me in particular, or if you're like, no, we don't care, we want to hear about the art. I can talk more about my art. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to hear about, and I'll see what I can do next time I do a painting video. Okay guys, and that's one of my oil paintings. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. I had a lot of fun making it. Normally my oil paintings are a way for me to de-stress, so it was a lot of fun, and I really hope you enjoyed it. If so, leave me a like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!